Disneyland with Kids podcast, bringing you travel tips, park tidbits, and the best Southern California travel deals. Welcome to the Disneyland with Kids podcast. I am Becca with this crazy adventure called life.
And I'm Jessica from the happiest blog on earth.
All right, Jessica, I was just thinking about when I've gone to Disneyland and had some amazing interactions with characters. And I know every parent wants their kids to have those amazing interactions. A lot of people just don't know how to make that happen, right? How to get those conversations rolling. And so I thought, what a great topic for us to cover here on Disneyland with Kids. A lot of times their kids are shy when they're meeting the characters for the first time. Either this is like their idol that they have looked up to, or, maybe they're a little intimidated, especially by the characters that don't show their faces. So,
yes.
Question. What is how have all your kids loved the characters?
Ooh.
In the beginning?
None of them were over the moon, I can't wait to meet this person, but they did want to incorporate it into our visits. And they haven't ever been shy or scared of the characters since they've been coming since they were babies. So that's always been something we've done. And even lately, as they're older into their teen years, we've done character dining. And I think it's funny because there's an awkward stage when they're younger. And then there's an awkward stage when they're older and they're like, am I allowed to do this anymore? So the dining makes it super easy.
My oldest, from his first trip at 10 months, he just wanted all the characters to hold him. He wanted to cuddle them. He loved them all. So when one of my twins was deathly afraid of the characters, it threw me for a loop. He liked seeing him from a distance, but he got close to Mickey that first time and he was crying. And they'd come since they were 6 months old. So, I was a little shocked that they didn't love the characters as much as their older brother. But it can happen. But I love what you said about character dining and how that kind of makes it okay for the older kids, especially, but also the younger kids, because they can eat. They don't have to look at the characters as much if they don't want to. And so today we are going to be talking about how to meet the characters, break the ice with them, make kids more comfortable, and also get those memorable conversations with them. So let's start with character dining, Jessica. You touched on a little bit. I'll let you take off on that.
Okay, well, I'm kind of going to stick with the older demographic here since I touched on that. And I did princess dining with another Disneyland with Kids co-founder, Leslie from Trips with Tykes. And we were two adult women going in to meet face characters. So they are showing their face and they talk and interact with you. And we were like, how is this going to go? And we were amazed by how interactive and fun the princesses were, even to adults. They really know their characters and they come with so much prepared and things that they can talk to you about. So it's not always stuff that you have to think of, but if you're familiar with their stories, that definitely helps. So princess dining, if it's in the budget, so much fun. They do such a good job. And then we have all the other ones, which have characters like Mickey Mouse and Chip and Dale and things like that.
Yes, I love the character dining. Also, character dining, it can be more involved than the other character meet and greets, or it can be more laid back and just simply taking a picture. They really let the guests set the tone of that interaction. I mean, not that they don't ever do that in the other places, but more so, I feel, if you just don't want to do anything with them, you kind of just turn your back and you keep eating and you say, no, I don't want a picture and I'm good. And they'll leave you alone. So it's really up to you. I think it's in little doses. So you don't feel like you're having to take in all these characters one right after the other, like you sometimes do in Royal Hall.
Right.
And then the other thing I really love about it is you are not waiting in these lines to and trying to find. I love that the Disneyland app shows you where the characters might be, but it doesn't always give you a time or an accurate location. And so it can be really hard to meet some of these characters that don't have a dedicated spot. And so it's great that you can meet a bunch of characters throughout one meal. And most of them, I think, have at least 5. I'm
Mhm.
trying to think if there's any that I've seen less than 5. But I know they all have at least 4, but I think it's 5 or more. So it's a great way to knock out a bunch of character meet and greets in one location. Okay.
Totally.
So now the character, you're either at their meet and greet, you've met him, you waited in line, it's your
Mhm.
turn, you see him randomly walking through the park, you see him at the character meal. How do you get a conversation going with them? I know that a lot of them, especially the non-face characters, are very, playful and they'll kind of lead the way. But what are some things that you have seen people do with the characters to really make it a lot more personal? One of my favorites is we went to Minnie's Breakfast at the Plaza Inn, and that's not the correct name, but we'll keep going. And we were there with a bunch of other bloggers and content creators. And our friend Ashley asked Tigger for a jumping contest. And I thought that was so cute because she was trying to, out Tigger the Tigger.
That's
which is
so perfect. Yeah,
awesome.
so something that goes along with their character and their storyline, you can always tie that in.
So let's come up with some of the characters that we commonly see around the parks. And let's see if we can think of something that might break the ice with them as
Okay.
far as conversations. Okay, so one character we see quite often that is a little intimidating because it's a villain is the evil queen.
Yes. Oh man, and is she so full of quick reactions? She's hilarious and so good, but be prepared for her to be a villain. She's
Yes.
not going to love on your child. She's probably going to be like, "Okay, I'm done with you.
Yeah,
Move
unless the
along."
child is dressed like her. She does tend to
Mm.
like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's going to be like that. Some conversational things that might get her to interact a little more is asking to take a picture of her in your magic mirror, which is your selfie camera or your phone.
Ooh.
Um, Asking her about how her apple orchards are doing and if she happens to have an apple. Or you could, if you have an apple, ask her if she wants it, held it out to her, say, would you care for an apple?
Ooh, I love
Um,
it.
yeah, those are just little things that you can say if you want to have a conversation with them and make that happen. Now, again, remember, villains will be a bit snarky and rude sometimes. Expect them to be villains. They are that character. And so you have to be ready for that. Do you remember what my husband did with Captain Hook?
I'm not sure. I might. Do you want me to No, you say it.
Okay. So he does this all the time when we're at the plaza in breakfast because Captain Hook comes there a lot. Um, and he will get behind Captain Hook and start making TikTok noises
That's perfect.
to make him jump and make him think the crocodile is behind him. So that's another thing you could do to a
That's
villain.
great. So one of my go-tos,
Mhm.
especially if it's me or like adults or me and the teens, is I comment on their outfits. So like Mickey and Minnie right now are wearing their Disney 100 outfits on Main Street, and these are sparkly and shiny. You can always talk about their outfits. And another thing I like to talk about is what ride they want to go on next or what ride I should go on next. And especially with the characters when they're doing their pantomime, it's really fun to guess which ride they're talking about and have a really fun interaction that way.
Definitely. Okay, let's talk specifically about face characters because these are ones now that, like the evil queen, you can have more of a conversation with. And so I remember one time I was doing a live stream in the Disneyland Kids Facebook group, or maybe I was pre-recording. I don't remember which. I think I was live streaming. And Jasmine was just walking and she walked up and asked what I was doing and how all our group fit into this little box. So think of things that are from Jasmine's movie, Aladdin.
Mhm.
I said, well, it's kind of like the genie's lamp and limited cosmic power in this device. Itty bitty living space for all those little people, all those people.
That's so funny.
So thinking of those things and tying in the surroundings that you're at. So if you're by the teacups, we saw a great interaction recently. Didn't involve like us per se,
Mhm.
but it was Alice and the Mad Hatter in a teacup, and he was teaching us how to make the tea in the teacup that they're in.
Yes, it was so funny.
It was great.
Another thing that worked out really great for my toddler preschool age cousin. So it's my cousin's daughter. She had one of the new emos. So that's the little plush. It's like this big of Chip, but she didn't want him to be Chip. She wanted him to be Dale because she liked the name Dale better. So she had Chip and it was Dale. It was Chip. Carrying around with her the whole 2 or 3 days that we're at the parks, right? So anytime Dale or Chip saw her, they would see that and they would come and interact with her. One time they came up and just grabbed it from her and pretended to walk away, and she was old enough to know that he was just kidding. We saw the Disneyland band perform in front of Sleeping Beauty Castle, and she just held out her little new emo the whole time. So if you do have a souvenir that reflects a character or that is with you, that's a really easy way to break the ice, even if it's not their character. You know, she brought Dale to the Royal Hall to meet the princesses, and they want to know about that little stuffy as well. It was a really great icebreaker for her.
Definitely. So I do want to talk about autograph books because I actually think they're a great icebreaker for those that don't know what to say. And there are alternatives you can do to autograph books, like the frame. We've seen those online and stuff, but I just think they're a great option. I personally do not get autographs any longer, but it is a great way to get the kid up. They don't even have to talk to the character. They can just hand them that. So let's give those that are listening or watching tips on your autograph books. How should you go to the character with your autograph book? Should it be closed, open? What kind of markers work best? Let's test your knowledge on this, Jessica.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we've done autograph books. I would say have it ready, have it open, have your pen ready to go. And they sign it in their own special way. And it's really cute and it tends to match their character.
It definitely does. And one other thing is when you're choosing pens and markers, have the lid off for them. And one tip I heard that was amazing was get the clickable Sharpies, because some of them, they have to position everything a certain way to be able to sign, and it might get all over their gloves or whatever. And we don't want them to have dirty gloves. We want them to be fresh and clean for everyone. And so that clickable one works really well for the characters that need that. Also have it open to the exact page that you want them to sign on. That's a really important thing because it is hard for the characters to flip the pages, especially those that wear gloves. So definitely think about those things, but it's a great way because they don't even make the children say anything when they come up with an autograph book. If they're holding that out, they know what they want. And usually the characters, if the child has not said anything at that point, will take the lead and they'll realize, okay, they're not quite sure how to do this interaction, and they'll get things going for you.
That is so true. And you know what? One of the things that I love about the Disneyland with Kids group and the podcast is that there's so many of us who've been in these situations and we can share our different tips. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to bring up one of our podcast reviews. Ooh. And this is from Dina or Donna. I'm actually not sure because one part of her review says Dina and one says Donna, and the I and the O are right next to each other on the keyboard. But she says, "You girls are so informative and helpful. I have a granddaughter and it's so nice to get firsthand information from girls with kids. Keep up the good work and thank you." So awesome. Thank you for leaving that review. And we would love to hear from you guys as well. Wherever you're listening, you can leave a review for us, particularly on Apple Podcasts.
And that's one thing I think we pride ourselves, the 4 Disneyland Kids co-founders, is that we are parents, but not only that, we are not locals. I mean, like Julie is semi-local, one of our co-founders from Mom Rewritten, but none of us live right there. None of us are going every single week. We're not the people that are going a couple of hours. And while we love those people, a lot of our friends are those people. it's a different way to plan. Those people are usually Magic Key holders, which is the annual pass. They just pop in, do the 1 or 2 rides they want to do and leave, or just get dinner or just watch a show. So it's a lot different. And one thing we totally understand is that you are planning a vacation around Disneyland. And with that, we also know that you want to save some money because Disneyland is expensive, right, Jessica?
So
It's getting more and
expensive.
more so. And so we have partnered with Getaway Today, and we are able to offer an exclusive ticket discount that is only available to our community. This is not, you can't just go to getawaytoday.com and get this. So here's how you can get our exclusive pricing, which could save you up to, I think, $15, maybe even $20 on the longest tickets. But you can call them at 855-GETAWAY, and then you just need to make sure you let them know Disney Kids sent you and that you want our exclusive pricing.
Totally.
So that's one way. If you are I do it all online, I don't want to talk to anyone type of person, then you can go to disneylandwithkids.info/book. We did that, so it'd be pretty easy to remember. That will redirect you to our exclusive pricing on the Getaway Today website, and you can do that. And if you're also booking a hotel of 2 nights or more with those tickets, you can use code Disney Kids to save an additional little $10. It's not much, but it buys a couple churros. And anything you save is a great, it's great because it just adds to the snack fund or lets you go, start building your next Disney vacation fund.
Exactly.
All right, Jessica, is there any one last funny character or interaction story or anything that you would like to share on the spot?
Gaston is hilarious. If you see him in Fantasyland, a lot of times he's by Royal Hall in that little courtyard area. He's hilarious. We were chatting with him one day, and then a little girl dressed as Belle came by, and he spotted her and he says, "Belle, there you are." And she was like, it was so cute. She just totally confused me. Are you talking to me? And he went after her, and it was just great. Great character interactions, especially when they involve other people and other guests to bring them into the mix.
Definitely. My biggest thing is to tell everyone, always just keep your eyes out. You never know where characters will appear. There are lines for meet and greets, but we also have roaming characters. A lot of times they won't stay in one spot for too long. But if you walk and talk with them, you might have a very special moment, and definitely be open to that. Also, I do want to say there is one character that has been eluding me recently that I've wanted to meet, and that is Pete. Pete the cat, now in Toontown. I have spent several mornings there waiting, hoping he would come out, to no avail, but it's okay. All right, that's all we have time for today, but we will see you real soon at Disneyland.